Welcome to Swolehammer. As we can only assume we're in the last year of 3rd edition Age of Sigmar, it's exciting to look to the future and what 4th edition could hold for us. So with that, using trends from other GW games, reasonable logic, and rumors with some validity to highlight 4 predictions for 4th edition Age of Sigmar. And starting with something gameplay-wise that I actually really want is heroes leading units. This was recently introduced in 10th edition Warhammer 40k and is honestly one of my favorite new additions. What this does is you pick a leader to attach to a unit that has a similar kind of role and it gives them a buff. Usually in the case of the unit, they get +1 to hit or a feel no pain, while the hero gets inherent protection from the unit. In that unless there's a weapon with a specified rule that can target said model, they'll be protected. So this kind of gets around really complicated lookout sir rules that 9th edition 40k had and Age of Sigmar is beginning to adopt a little bit, while also giving tons of flavor and utility to all those units that kind of are lost in the shuffle and have no real purpose, and also cleans up really messy movement kind of shenanigans. If your unit that ran gets a 6 and then your leader gets a 1, you don't miss out on those auras possibly, or you have to readjust. They all move together, the leader's protected, the unit gets buffed. And honestly, I think Age of Sigmar is 100% made for this. 3rd edition Age of Sigmar introduced the trend of small on-foot heroes with each battle tome coming out. And a lot of these heroes are just lost in the shuffle, like I said. They don't have a purpose, or they have really arbitrary rules, and giving unique utility to these heroes would both benefit the battle tomes and the variety of Sigmar factions, where some smaller lines of models would really benefit. It is insanely easy and thematic to fit in the High Gladiatrix with Witch Elves or Sisters of Slaughter and give them a +1 to hit or a +1 to wound baseline when the High Gladiatrix leads this unit. That and many more examples are why I really like this idea for Sigmar. And the reason why we think it's going to happen in 4th edition is because not only did 40k adopt it with its most recent edition, but it's coming back for Old World, and Horus Heresy has it as well. History likes to repeat itself, and for better or for worse, I think this change is coming. I really hope it will, because like I said, there's so many models that are kind of lost in the sauce and have nothing going for them. This could give all those models some new life. Now for an example of a gameplay change that I don't really want, but is actually pretty likely to happen, and that's magic getting rolled into other phases. That's specifically meaning you don't have a phase where you roll for your magic anymore. They just become ranged attacks or abilities on your unit's war scroll. While this does shore up a lot of time where you don't have to roll and measure distances for your magic happening, magic rolls are kind of really fun in Age of Sigmar and pretty integral to the fantasy experience. Again, the trend points in this direction because Horus Heresy has this implemented. 40k no longer roll for the psychic phase, so it's implemented like Horus Heresy. And then they confirmed with Old World that you're not rolling for magic anymore. It's going to be implemented like the other systems, and Age of Sigmar is the last one to go. This does bum me out a little bit because a lot of the fun and flavor from psychic heavy armies that I play in 40k, Thousand Sons, Grey Knights, and Demons are just kind of gone, and now they're more just shooty armies for the most part. Sure, I have problems with magic being as oppressive as it is in AOS, but at the same time, rolling for magic and picking your spells is so integral to the experience. As I said, I'll really miss it if they get rid of it. I really hope this one isn't true, but everything points in the direction that it will happen. Now on to more thematic and lore stuff with Olgu is probably our next setting, and Malerion finally returns. With Morathi finally ascending to godhood at the end of 2nd into 3rd, and Malerion, formerly known as Malekith, not being around since the end times, but also surviving into Sigmar, it's about time to bring him back. There was a lack of direction going into Gur with 3rd edition, while there's solid reasoning that will stop an Olgu for 4th. First off, the recent Underworlds conflict has taken place there between Stormcast, Cruel Boys, Skaven, and Daughters of Cain. Specifically, the repeat Shadow Stalkers release shows GW testing the waters for Shadow Elf design in the future. And with all these Underworld's bands battling it out in Ulgu, Malerion will not take it lightly that people are skirmishing around in his realm. Another significant point taken from Old World is they revealed Dark Elves wouldn't be one of the main supported factions and only get index rules down the line, meaning that a Malerion-led Shadow Elf faction is all the more likely. Males for Malerion, anyone? And our final point, the alleged Skaven refresh will focus on Clan Eshin. Rumors have sprang up from the Gnawholes recently, pointing to Skaven being the faction against Stormcast in the 4th edition launch box. So if this is true, and Skaven finally get a refreshed model range, we think the focus will be on Clan Eshin. Stemming from our previous point on 4th edition being set in Ulgu, and the stealthy assassins of Clan Eshin already being there with Slink's warband, they also tested the waters with the redone Deathmaster model. There is more than enough ammunition for some more Eshin love. While I hope more clans get their refreshes too, since the entire range is ancient, Clan Eshin could definitely use some more gutter rudders and also just more support entirely, more variety and different kinds of units, instead of just stealthy ninja rats, which are still pretty cool. So that's it! Are you excited for 4th edition Age of Sigmar? We are. While I'm still waiting for my Flesh Eater Court's 3rd edition Battle Tome to come out, I am excited to see what happens in 4th and all the new models that come out, because Age of Sigmar models look amazing. As always, this is Rafik with Swolehammer. Stay swole.